What's up, guys? Dr. Nicole here. I just want to say congratulations to Clemson, 2018 College Football Playoff National Champions. In the past 4 years now, it's been Alabama, Clemson, Alabama, Clemson. So now they're tied. And the first year that we did this playoff system, Ohio State University won. So always got to give a tip of my hat to the rivals over the other side of the Michigan border there. But it's exciting because Alabama was seed number 1. They both came in undefeated. And there was a lot of talk about, roll tide roll, continue this winning streak they've had, national champs again. I think they're tied for second place for the number of national championships that they've had, and they've had 6 in the past 10 or 15 years. I forget that stat. But it's been a lot. It's been a lot of domination by Alabama in the past 15 years. So what's really exciting is that Clemson wasn't really the underdog, but everyone kind of treated them like they were. And now they won. And now big Alabama has been taken off the pedestal, taken off the stool. And, a lot of people feel indignant. And it's just a really good time for all these emotions to come out because we're seeing it. Last night we saw Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback for Alabama, just really struggling. His offensive line really struggling last night. And you could just see the defeat in their bodies. And this was the biggest deficit that Coach Saban and his team had ever had. And Alabama's tied for the most missed field goals in the entire FBS. So even though they were ranked number 1 seed, they had some weaknesses that Clemson took advantage of. And this is a huge loss for Alabama, not just because they lost, but because they lost big. And I thought about this last night, and it was a really exciting game. And I thought, well, shit, Alabama can be thrown off of its throne. The best team, almost undeniably, in the United States. Even they can be taken off their throne in a big way. And it just reminded me of this thing we call life, how similar it can be to sports, is that even the best have setbacks. Even the best lose big, you guys. Even the best have their vulnerabilities exposed at time and get completely trampled on. So what does that mean for us? As people who are just trying to go out into the world and do our best, it means 100% that we're going to have setbacks. Because even the best have setbacks, you guys. So what I really want to talk about today is how we have a comeback after a setback. Because it is inevitable. 100% chance that we're going to have setbacks. Does that mean that we throw in the towel? Do you think Alabama is going to throw in the towel, hide into shame, and stop trying, and they're going to come back weaker next year? No. They're going to use this as fuel to fire them up, to come in even stronger. They're going to work on the vulnerabilities that Clemson exposed. You bet they're going to be working on their kicking game. You bet they're going to be working on their offensive line. You bet that they're going to be doing all these things so that they can come back even stronger next year. I can totally imagine that this loss is going to be fresh in the minds of the coaches and the players every day until the next season starts, until they get to the end of their next season, because they are not going to let it go. And this is a really good lesson for us to watch the top completely fall down and watch how they recover and climb back up, because they're not going to throw in the towel. So neither should we. When we have setbacks, yes, it hurts like hell, you guys. You could see the pain in the faces of the coaches and the players last night. It hurt big. But they're not going to hold on to that pain forever. They're not going to use it as an excuse to stop trying, okay? They're going to be upset for a little while, but then they're going to use it as fuel. They're going to turn it around, and they're going to work even harder on the things that they need to do. And I guarantee you that they're going to be good next year. They have a lot of return players. Yes, they lost a lot of seniors. They had a lot of seniors that played in the national championship game 4 years in a row. Very, very, very rare. But their star quarterback's coming back, and they have a lot of other key players that are coming back. So they're going to be working hard. And they're probably going to replace some of those players that weren't stepping up to the task at hand. So what do you do after a setback? That's what I want to talk about today. Can we use some of this from watching that football game and the next several days, weeks, months to watch Alabama and how they come back from a setback? Can we use that as an example to drive us, to fuel us? Instead of hiding under a rock because we screwed up big or we lost big. Sometimes that we hide under a rock for small losses that don't really impact our ability to keep going, but our ego gets shattered. And this is a lot of ego too. So I really want to encourage you to kind of think about that. How do you come back after a setback? Do you use that setback as fuel to fire you up, to keep you going, to work harder to win the next one? Or do you give up? I think this is a sign of winners in life. And I know I'm using this sports analogy right now, winners and losers of games. But the good thing is that our own opponent is usually ourselves. So can we win against what we see as our own perceived weaknesses? Can we utilize support networks and coaches and friends and family and our own inner drive to win? Because usually, like I said, our opponent is ourselves. So we know our own weaknesses. Can we tap into that in any way? Can we be humble? Can we accept that pain as part of a growth process, as part of a purification process to be a better version of ourselves? I hope that this is inspiring, especially if you have faced a big setback lately, or if you keep this in mind the next time you do face a setback, giving us a reality check that setbacks are going to happen. Even the best get knocked down from their thrones. So it's inevitable that we're going to face some sort of challenge, setback, something that's going to hurt our egos. It's going to hurt our ability to want to move forward. But I hope that within days, if not hours of that setback, you can find something within you to keep going. Just like I know Alabama is going to. They've got fighting spirit. The coach does, his coaching staff, the players do. And I guarantee he's not going to allow those who have a negative mindset about this to stick around for long. So it's another good thing to think about is not allowing negativity to sink in and drive us. Is not allowing it in our lives. All right, hopefully this has been some form of inspiration for you for a past, current, or potentially for a future setback, knowing that we do have setbacks. And I would love to hear from you guys. How do you come back after a setback? We all have something different. Do you get your music going? Do you call a friend? Do you look back at your past accolades? Do you look at your future goals? What do you do? How do you dig deep to come back after a setback? Do you need a revamp of that? Let me know. Comment below. I'd love to hear what you guys do. For me, I reach out to my network and I tend to kind of sit and think about my future goals and how I can grow from it. It's not always easy. Sometimes we take a little bit longer to feel sorry for ourselves than necessary. But I guarantee you that it can happen. You can come back. You will come back if you decide that you're going to. And you're going to be better than ever. All right, guys, take care. Got to get on with my day. Peace.